The question says that the doctor orders Caltrex 0.35 milliequivalents per pound, PO, dissolved in 6 ounces of orange juice at 8 a.m. What you have available is Caltrex 8 milliequivalents per ml. How many mLs of Caltrex will you add to the orange juice for a patient that weighs 20.5 kgs? All right. So this one is kind of different because we normally are used to our patients being in pounds and we're going to kgs. But this question is a little different. They actually want the patient's weight to be in pounds. So I'm showing you this question just because it's important to always know how to maneuver and kind of work different problems. So let's get started. So first what we're going to do, we're going to take this weight and we're going to put that weight in pounds. So you're going to start going over here. All right. So we know kgs have to go on the bottom. So 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. So kg cancel out. So this patient wears 45.1 pounds. All right, now let's start with the physician's order. So what is the physician's order? So the physician order is 0.35 milliequivalents per pound. So first, what I always tell you guys, write to the side what our answer needs to end in. So our answer needs to end in ml. So let's just write that down to the side just so we can keep track. All right, so we know that milliequivalents need to cancel out. So we're going to look in our problem and we're going to see, do we see milliequivalents somewhere? And what else needs to cancel out is pounds need to cancel out as well. So it's up to you whichever one you start with, but I'm going to go and we're going to go ahead and cancel out the milliequivalents first. Okay, so we have milliequivalents on the top, so we're going to add milliequivalents on the bottom. So we see our milliequivalents right here is 8 milliequivalents per 1 ml. So milliequivalents is going to cancel out, and we're going to be left with pounds and mLs. Well, we're almost there, but pounds has to go. So we're going to use the patient's weight up there, which is 45.1 pounds. And we're just going to place that over 1. So we know that pounds had to go on the top because pounds was on the bottom. So we're just going to cross out pounds. And now we're left with mLs. So now here's the easy part. All we have to do is multiply straight across. So we're going to multiply 0.35. And then we're going to multiply 45. And then that's going to give us 15.78. And then we're going to multiply the bottom straight across, and 8 times 1 is just 8. So we're going to get 15.78, and we're going to divide that by 8, and that should give us 1.97. So we're going to round that to the nearest tenth, and our answer is going to be 2 mLs. The question says that the provider ordered this medication 5 milligrams per pound, IM every 12 hours. So it says what you have available is this medication in 0.9 grams per 2 mLs. So the question says how many mLs will you administer if the patient weighs 72.7 kgs. All right, so this question is a little different. The order is actually for it to be in pounds. So the patient's weight is in kgs. So we would have to convert the patient's weight from kgs to pounds. So let's do that. So the patient weighs 72.7 kgs. And we know that 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. So this patient is going to weigh 159.94 pounds. So remember, your weight is always, the number is always bigger when you're in pounds, okay? All right, so now that we have the patient's weight in pounds, let's go ahead and write out to the side what our answer needs to end in is mLs, and that just keeps us on track. Now, let's go ahead and start with the physician's order. Physician order is 5 milligrams per pound. All right, so first we know we got to be in ml, so all this stuff need to cancel out. So let's first cancel out the patient's weight. So we got pounds on the bottom, so pounds has to go on the top up here. So the patient's weigh 159.94 pounds. So, and you could just put that over 1, okay? So pounds cancel out, and we're left with milligrams. All right, we're going to go to our problem and see, do we have anything in milligrams? Do we? No, we don't. So we know we have to go from milligrams to grams. So we know that there is 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So milligrams cancel out, and we're left with grams. But I also don't need to be in grams. I need to be in milliliters. So our problem then says we have 0.9 grams over 2 mLs. So grams cancel out, and we're just left with mLs, right? Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 5 times 159.94 times 2, and that's going to give us 1599.4. And then we're going to multiply straight across at the bottom, which is 1,000 times 0.9, and we're going to get 900. All right, so then we're going to do 1599.4 divided by 1,000, and that's going to give us 1.77. All right, then we're going to round to the nearest tenth, and that's going to give us 1.8 mLs.